Hi, hello everyone. Am I audible? क्या आप सभी को मेरी आवाज अच्छे से सुनाई दे रही है? जल्दी से यस लिख के बता दीजिए फटाफट से कमेंट सेक्शन में अगर आपको मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है। हाय, हेलो, हेलो, हेलो एवरीवन, हेलो एसआर के, हेलो शिवांगी शर्मा। क्या बहुत ज्यादा डार्क है? शुड आई टर्न ऑन सम लाइट? चलो जल्दी से अपने फ्रेंड्स को फटाफट से हमारे लाइफ के बारे में बता दीजिए एंड मैं आपका बहुत ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा। आई एम क्विकली गोइंग टू finish the entire prism today itself. I don't want to you know keep it deferred for the next day क्योंकि कल हमें रैप्सडी की तैयारी करनी है। जितना जल्दी हो सकेगा अनीश उतना जल्दी आई एम गोइंग टू रैप इट अप एज सून एज पॉसिबल। एंड कल हम लोग 3 बजे ही मिलेंगे लाइव के लिए, ठीक है? फ्रॉम टुमारो ऑनवर्ड्स वी आर गोइंग टू मीट एट 3 PM शार्प। एंड अब आपको और कोई ग्लिच देखने नहीं मिलेगा अब और लाइव में। I'm extremely sorry for whatever happened this afternoon. I hope y'all can forgive me because I'm still an amateur, very inexperienced. I'm still learning a lot of things. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Oh, thank you so much. I'm just putting in my best because I'm desperate to see you all scoring good marks in your board examination, irrespective of the fact whether you are a part of Nirbhay or ARYAN tutorial ka YouTube platform or you're associated in my offline batch. It's just everyone should be scoring the best of their capabilities. Yes, chalo, let us start. Just maybe another minute since I had said we'll start off from 9. तो थोड़ा सा एक आध मिनट और रुक जाते हैं एंड देन लेट्स क्विकली डाइव इनटू द गिव रीजन फ्रॉम वेयर वी लेफ्ट, राइट? मैं इस लाइव के बाद नीचे आपको लिंक दे दूंगा फर्स्ट पार्ट का, आप जाके उसको चेकआउट कर सकते हैं। वी हैड डन टिल नंबर 3 व्हाई तारापोदो फेल्ट अम्यूज्ड बाय चारुशोशी's behavior. Like Tarapada felt amused by Charushoshi's behavior because यहाँ तक हमने कर लिया। बेटा नोट्स के प्राइस और कितना कम करूं? मैंने ऑलरेडी एक अभी मात्र 799 रुपीज में एक और कोर्स लॉन्च कर दिया है विच इंक्लूड्स योर सैंपल पेपर प्लस नोट्स। बहुत मेहनत लगी है बनाने में, ठीक है? It has taken more than 1.5 months to curate those sample papers, high quality sample papers and notes combined. So in my opinion I deserve that due from you guys, ठीक है? That is what I feel. Otherwise YouTube पे जितना हो सकेगा मैं सब कुछ आपको प्रोवाइड करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Efforts always comes with a price tag. So कभी कभी अगर आप प्राइस ना लो कुछ चीजों के लिए तो फिर योर वैल्यू इज अंडरमाइंड। इसीलिए हर चीज फ्री में नहीं देना चाहिए। चलो let's quickly dig into the next give reason, the fourth one. Why Tarapada's attitude towards Charushoshi changes subtly? Because chalo start writing, start posting. Why Tarapodo's attitude towards Charushoshi changes subtly. Subtly means very dhire dhire. Slowly and steadily, he starts feeling that emotional love towards Charushoshi. Why? Because for once Tarapodo allowed himself to feel his emotions, and besides, spending time with Charu stirred 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 that love towards her. ठीक है? For once he allowed himself to feel his emotions, and besides spending time with Charu, that emotional love which was there within him, which he tried to suppress, it came to the surface. And maybe that is the plausible reason. That is the reason which made Tarapodo. Yes, for once, very good sake, I like your answer. Sake 8784, he acknowledged the unspoken growing affection behind her erratic behavior, which fostered feelings of love towards her. Very good answer. Chali, going to the fifth one. Why Tarapodo decided to leave Karthalya abruptly? Abruptly means all of a sudden. All of a sudden, he left all the bonds of love behind and left Karthalya. Why does he do so? Why does he do so? Because upon a moonlit night, when he witnesses the passing by boats, for once the sound of drums and beats, it creeps into his ears and it rekindles, it reignites those wanderlust emotions which had been paused for a while. ठीक है, which had been paused for a while. I'll make all kinds of videos. Please try to focus right now. अभी थोड़ा focus करिए पढ़ाई पे. ठीक है, got the reason. The drum beats and the violin that he hears, the sound of the violin, it rekindles his vagabond spirit, his nomadic spirit. Vagabond spirit and his nomadic spirit, and reminds him of the freedom which he had paused for a while. Chaliye. And this brings an end to your Atithi. Moving down to the cookie lady. ठीक है, moving down to the cookie lady. Oh, it comes with practice, creepy pasta. I find your names to be a little amusing for YouTube. Chaliye, starting with the first one. Mrs. Drew's act of providing cookies in exchange for Bubba's presence, and reading aloud primarily serves as a metaphor for her act of kindness that she puts up in exchange for Bubba's presence. Obviously, her intention is something more than being hospitable. She just does not want to be hospitable. Rather, she has a hidden motive and agenda behind. Very good. her intention is predatory, her intention is parasitic, and it is purely transactional. She intends to draw out Babar's youth and vitality to rejuvenate her own youth so that she can feel lively, enthusiastic, and young once again. So that is option C. Next one. Something gray and dry was blowing up against the porch. Porch is basically that part of your house jahan pe, it has a covering, but it's the open area. Okay, that's a porch. So something gray and dry was blowing up against the porch. Which literary device, which literary device does Philip K. Dick employ here to conclude Babar's arc, his complete deduction? Very good, guys. Very impressive. Very impressive. Very impressive. Very impressive. Basically, the literary device over here, as gray and dry was blowing up against the porch, it is to convey an imagery of physical and spiritual depletion. So when you read about the author section, there is a line which is mentioned that Babar is just one of those child. It conveys that there have been many other instances where Mrs. Drew has indulged herself into parasitic tendencies, and Babar is just one of those victims. So it shows that there is a complete drainage and depletion on the part of Babar, and it completes his life force arc where he is reduced down to nothingness by the end of the story. ठीक है? Very good. Chaliye, third one. What is the shift in the narrative atmosphere as the story progresses towards the final encounter between Mrs. Drew and Babar? How does the narrative shift in the story when story progresses towards its conclusion? Like beginning to end क्या था? Beginning में the mood of the story was very hospitable, very welcoming. Mrs. Drew was portrayed as very homely, very welcoming towards Babar, and by the end, her sinister motive it surfaced on her part. Like she had kept her agenda behind wheel of kindness. ठीक है? Wheel is covering of kindness. So it conveys from domestic comfort to a chilling and supernatural horror by the end of the story. Excellent, guys. Excellent. अरे भाई 100 on 100 आप ही लोग को आने वाला है. Don't worry. चलिए fourth one. Bubba's characterization as gluttonous. Gluttonous means someone who's greedy and indifferent. He was unbothered. He was emotionally detached. And that is very much evident and visible from the way in short phrases he speaks with Mrs. Drew. ठीक है? So gluttonous and indifferent serves as a specific narrative purpose in the story. It is intended to why Babur has been highlighted as a boy who's gluttonous at the same time emotionally detached. Very good. Ishika, Satyam Tripathi, Tanu Thakur. Very good. Very good. Very impressive. To highlight how greed can blind. कभी कभी आपका लालच ही आपके अंत का कारण बन जाता है. So oftentimes unchecked emotions like greed, anger, lust can lead to self-deprecation of a person, like self-destruction of a person. ठीक है? So it highlights how material greed can blind one to existential danger. Chaliye, read the statements given below and select the most appropriate relation between them. Statement 1. Mrs. Drew's transformation into a young woman becomes permanent only after final physical contact. Statement B. Bubber is reduced to grey and dry bundle of weeds by the end of the story. A is the cause. B is the reason for A. A and B are unrelated. B is a contradiction to statement A. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So please understand the logic that Mrs. Drew is only able to regain her youth. She is only able to become a young woman permanently when Babur is reduced to nothingness or plausibly a grey and dry bundle of weed. So it is because of B, A is happening. So A is the cause, A is the result of B. A is the outcome of B. I hope that is clear. ठीक है? I hope that is clear. चलिए, in the context of the story's climax, the wind that eventually trudges यानी which makes Babur stumble while walking or stagger while walking, कि वो लड़खड़ा के चलता है, that is trudging. Babur symbolizes, what is the wind symbolic of? What is the wind symbolic of over here? Wind is portrayed as nature, and nature is something which is indifferent. ठीक है? Unconcerned to what happens to this poor fellow, to this poor boy. गलत मत करिए. लिबरेशन नहीं हुआ है. लिबरेशन तो स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी हो गया. यहां पे बबर का कोई भी स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी के बारे में बात नहीं हो रहा है. ठीक है? It is basically conveying the cold indifference, unconcerned pattern on the part of nature on the universe at the erasure. Erasure means complete depletion. Erasure means complete depletion of the weak. Nature remains indifferent to what happens to Babur. Got it? Got the logic? Next one. Mrs. Drew's transformation is described as pulsating and vibrating youngness. The choice of these specific adjectives suggests that her rejuvenation is. What kind of rejuvenation is it suggesting? This is your hint. Her rejuvenation was a deliberate, जानबूझ के उसने ऐसा किया. जानबूझ के Mrs. Drew ने ऐसा किया. It was a deliberate attempt on Mrs. Drew's part. Very good, guys. But board exam में मैं आपको बताने नहीं आऊंगा, ठीक है? It is her volatile and predatory state sustained by stoling energy. Like after several visits by Babur to Mrs. Drew, she slowly and steadily drew out his entire life force. She kept on feeding, preying onto Babur's life force, and upon that final visit, she ensures to take out his entire vigor. Okay? By the conclusion of the story. Very good. Number 8. Babur's parents' intervention to stop from visiting Mrs. Drew is ironical. Why is it ironical? Although Babur's parents suspected that Mrs. Drew is not a nice person, yet what one mistake Babur's parents do? वो कौन सी एक गलती है जो उसके पेरेंट्स करते हैं? वो कौन सी एक गलती है जो उसके पेरेंट्स कर देते हैं? Yes, they allow Babur to go for a final visit. It forces a final and desperate encounter that leads to Babur's total depletion, his total deterioration, and his total collapse of physical state. ठीक है? That is one mistake which Babur's parents end up doing. Number 9. Which of the following best evaluates, assesses the nature of exchange? What kind of exchange? The central relationship of both the characters. What is the nature of exchange? Characteristic of exchange. What kind of exchange does it indicate? Yes, Shivangi, I will make a video on do's and don'ts while writing the answers. Don't worry, I'll take that up. Okay, kindly focus on studying right now. The exchange was parasitic. I hope you all know what is the meaning of parasite. Parasite is basically a bacteria which feeds upon other living organism. So Mrs. Drew was vampirish, and due to her vampirish tendencies, this adjective parasitic is suitable for Mrs. Drew. Okay? So this parasitic exchange where physical vitality is harvested, is grown or is taken out for aesthetic vanity. Vanity is pride. To fulfill her pride. Okay? Next one, number 10. The narrative suggests that Babur becomes an easy victim for Mrs. Drew, primarily because Q. Why Babur was an easy victim? His unchecked, या uncontrolled temptation, right? बाबर अगर अपने थोड़े से लालच को कंट्रोल या टेम कर लेता तो शायद उसकी ये दुर्दशा नहीं होती. How come you all are saying option? Yeah, A, correct. His sensory greed effectively that blinds his survival instinct. Option A. ठीक है? His sensory greed, that is unchecked temptation. Next one. Read the two statements and answer the question. Statement A. Mrs. Drew experiences a sense of triumph. What is the meaning of triumph? Triumph means victory. She feels victorious, triumph while looking in the mirror at the end. The physical rejuvenation, that is the way she revitalized herself, recollected her youth, she achieved required the complete consumption of Babur's life force. Very good. Very good. No, 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 no. It is not the justification of feelings in statement A. She feels a sense of triumph, a sense of victory. It is because the outcome of this feeling, outcome यानी result, लो कीवर्ड ऐसे ही मिल गया आपको. The outcome or the result of this feeling is because she had physically drained Babur by, you know, there is a very good word, by using the method of conduit, you can say. ठीक है? You know what is the meaning of conduit? Channeling. Channel कर लिया था अपने अंदर में, जिसकी वजह से वो triumphant feel कर रही थी. That means B is your correct answer. A is the logical result of B. ठीक है? B is the justification for the feelings नहीं होगा. A is the result, outcome of B. ICSE next year, beta, not this year. I'm way too occupied. चलिए हो गया, फटाफट से गिव रीजंस डिस्कस करें. Mrs. Drew offered Babur some cold milk when he visited her house because, why do you think? Sir, your network is not proper. अरे भाई मैंने तो यहाँ सब खोल के रखा है, सब कुछ प्रॉपर ही चल रहा है. Mrs. Drew offered Babur some cold milk when he visited her house because, Babur liked his cookies with cold milk. And what else? Babur liked his cookies with cold milk and it served as a pretext, that is a trap, to lure him into Mrs. Drew's sinister trap. ठीक है? Bubber liked his cookies with cold milk, and it served as a pretext, as a condition, to lure him into Mrs. Drew's sinister, evil desires and trap. Yes. Next one. Mrs. Drew did not give Bubber all the cookies at the same time because why? What did she intend to do? Yes. Connect YIT 7488. Very good. She intended to prolong. She intended to prolong. What is prolong? Increase the duration. ठीक है? She intended to prolong Bubber's stay. वो बबर को अपने पास थोड़ा लंबा समय के लिए रोकना चाहती थी. That was her intention. Yes. Third one. Ernie Mills shouted at Bubber from across the street while fixing papers for his route because Ernie Mill tried to tease Bubber. Why? What was the reason? Yes, very good, Game Pro. Because he was mocking him. Rather, why? Why? Shouted at Bubber from across the street. Why? What kind of intentions he had? Because he was curious to know why Bubber frequently visited that old lady. ठीक है? The keyword is curious. He was curious to know, or you can say inquisitive. Curious, or he was inquisitive. Detailed explanation has been provided on YouTube, Sukhraj. If you want to see any chapters detailed explanation, you can definitely go through my YT lectures. ठीक है? I'm not going to waste time on making detailed lectures on my app for this year now. Why double work? There's no point. Next one. The table and the lamp placed between Mrs. Drew and Bubber were removed because, very nice question, could be asked in your examination, highly probable. She on purpose removed the table and the lamp so that she wanted to sit in close proximity. You know what is the meaning of proximity? Distance. ठीक है? She wanted to sit in close proximity to smoothen up the process of youth draining and channeling. She wanted to drain Babar's youth so that she could channel it within herself. Yes, very good, Leena. Leenat Ahmad. The lamp and table were the only barrier that was keeping Mrs. Drew away from Babar to drain his life force quickly within less time. Amazing answer. Perfect. बेटा समर कौन सा चैप्टर इंपॉर्टेंट है मैं आपको वो सेपरेट वीडियो बना के बता दूंगा, ठीक है, बट नॉट नाउ. अगर अभी आपको वीडियो बना के बता दिया कि आप खाली ये करके चल जाओ तो आप कुछ नहीं पढ़ के जाओगे. एंड एज अ सेन हेडेड टीचर आई डू नॉट इंटेंड टू प्ले विथ योर लाइफ by giving you important question 10 days before examination कि आप ऐसे ही कुछ नहीं पढ़े हो पूरा साल और आप और कुछ नहीं पढ़ोगे important questions करके. Next one. The old lady stood rigid and felt the room twist violently around her because this is the ending part, the conclusion part. No, this is that part when Babar came and announced that this is the last time I'm paying a visit to you. So she stood flabbergasted, stupefied. Very good. When Babar broke to her or confided in her, confided यानी जब वो उनको बताया कि this is my last visit to you, those words of Babar sounded like a thunderclap. It sounded like a thundering into Mrs. Drew's ears, to which she was extremely shocked and bewildered at the same time. Bewildered का मतलब होता है बहुत ज्यादा surprise हो जाना. Extremely taken aback. ठीक है? Amazing, very good. चलिए, moving to the third one. I hope आपको पसंद आ रहा है the kind of questions that I have come up with. पसंद आ रहा है तो एकदम ठोक के लाइक मारो, ठीक है, जोरदार लाइक दे दो. Don't support me, then how will I make more such videos? See, this is the only fees that you're paying. अगर आप मेरे लाइव वीडियो से या मेरे फिल कंटेंट से हेल्प ले रहे हो और आपको मदद हो रही है तो जस्ट बाय शेयरिंग, सब्सक्राइबिंग एंड गिविंग वन लाइक टू द वीडियो, आपके लिए वो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, बट मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है. मुझे बहुत ज्यादा प्रोत्साहन मिलता है. आई फील एनकरेज्ड, आई फील हम्बल्ड, आई फील ब्लेस्ड टू सी दैट आई एम एबल टू हेल्प थ्रू माई क्वालिटी कंटेंट टू यू गाइज आउट. ठीक है, चलिए, moving to the third one, that is Indigo. Aniruddha Bose, a self-proclaimed authority, he considered himself to be a master over indigo ka studies on indigo cultivation, is forced, he is compelled to experience the life of a British planter. This narrative choice primarily highlights what? Does it convey superiority of his academic research, or his self-proclaimed authority that मुझे सब पता है इंडिगो प्लांटेशन के बारे में? I think that ironically leads him to experience metamorphosis at, yes, it will be option B. ठीक है, it leads him to experience metamorphosis, a direct experience of the Englishman's life. In other words, he is able to walk into the portals of time and history and relive the traumatic experience of the English planter. The irony of scholar being consumed by the very subject he studied objectively, means in a detailed manner. Next one, the Kal Vaisakhi, that is the nor'wester storm that strands का मतलब क्या होता है? That isolates, strands यानी that isolates Aniruddha, is more than a meteorological event because it functions in the narrative as a आशीष कॉम्पोजिशन का टॉपिक्स को लेके मैंने वीडियो बना दिया है बेटा, जाके चेकआउट कर लेना. थिंक एन आंसर प्लीज, बी कैसे होगा? डू यू ऑल इवन नो व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ? वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, कुछ बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ाई की है. नो, इट इज नॉट ऑप्शन बी, इट इज नॉट अ मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ द विलेजर्स एंगर. नहीं, ये वाला पार्ट नहीं है. नॉर वेस्टर क्या इंप्लाई कर रहा है? नेचर, कुदरत का पोर्ट्रेयल क्या है? कुदरत का पोर्ट्रेयल क्या है वहां से? अ ब्रूइंग स्टॉर्म stands as a liminal gate. It is foreshadowing onto the liminal gate. का मतलब पता है क्या है? पोर्टल होता है. Liminal means portal, or you can say it is a threshold. It opens a portal, a dimension through which Aniruddha will be able to travel to a different historical past and relive Englishman's experiences. So it is a structural liminal gate that breaks the protagonist, that is the character's ties to the present and enter into past. ठीक है? Please use this phrase in your answer, that Nor'wester serves as a liminal gate. Next one. Aniruddha's role as a creative writer and an authority on Indigo revolt is crucial to the story because it suggests, क्या बताता है? He was a creative writer and he claimed to have authority onto Indigo revolt in the past. Is crucial, is important, because he was actively, means deliberately looking for supernatural element. No. Very good. His mental preoccupation, since his mind was already occupied by Indigo revolt and he had read so much, this his mind had made him undergo an experience which he would have never thought in his life. ठीक है? So his mental preoccupation with the era Indigo revolt, that is the era, made him tuned receiver for the bungalow's memory, made him a fit person to experience the Englishman planter's journey. Next one. The planter's diary entry. People in my country are well aware of my evil deeds. Serves to underscore which theme? Theme of after whatever he had done to fulfill his desires or maybe his greed, what does it underscore? Very good, guys. Very good. Very good. Cage, Shomik, Navkiran, Tanu, Ishika, Kanak, Reena Singh, Yashpuri, Kanav, Raghav, Anamika. Very good. It portrays the inevitable, that is inescapable moral decay and psychological isolation, that when you often indulge yourselves into corrupt tendencies and practices, it comes with isolation, it comes with loneliness. ठीक है? Since he had exploited his villagers, his own people, and that is why, you know, at the end he was left all by himself to die in isolation. That is option D. Next one, fifth one. Read the two statements and select the appropriate relation. Statement A. Aniruddha wakes up on April 28th to find his car repaired and his world returned to normal. The story concludes with Aniruddha's wondering if anyone would believe his experience. How are the two statements related? Hi, bizarre rather. Definitely, you can be under the impression that such tough questions will not come in your examination. मत पढ़िए. आपका घाटा मेरा कुछ नहीं जाता. आपकी इच्छा. Council has said that 40% of the paper CFQ competency focused, and children have to focus more than just mere textual understanding. ठीक है? तो आपको पढ़ना है, पढ़िए, नहीं पढ़ना मत पढ़िए. Yes, it will be option B. Statement A is the reason for statement B. Aniruddha wakes up on the April 28th to find his car repair and the world return to normal. So he undergoes this thing. This is the outcome, or this is the result. Statement A is the result or the outcome of Aniruddha wondering if anyone would believe his experience. ठीक है? Since he had undergone a terrific experience at the night, and all of a sudden he wakes back to a normal life, and in the end he wonders that who will believe me that on the 100th anniversary I had undergone the experience of the English British indigo planter. ठीक है? Next one. In the story, the dark bungalow is described as a time capsule. Described as a time capsule. What does this suggest about the setting's role in the narrative? Very good. Time capsule conveys it was his own physical manifestation of a portal where historical guilt was preserved, and he was bound or destined to experience that. Aniruddha. ठीक है? Next one. The horror in Indigo is derived less from monsters and more from Aniruddha's complete loss of control. So the narrative of horror is very different from what it is portrayed. Satyajit Ray has captured a normal life of Aniruddha, through normal life of Aniruddha Bose, to capture that essence of horror. What does it convey? This suggests that the ultimate terror of the story is yes, it is erasure, that is removal of one's individual identity under the weight of historical memory. Like Aniruddha, in spite of being completely aware of what he was undergoing, the metamorphosis that he was undergoing, still he could not help to come out of it, and he was forced to experience that. ठीक है? Yes, Gothify. These are the kind of questions that will be asked. You go and pick up the pre-boards paper of schools. Good elite schools, they are testing on these kind of high order thinking skill questions. Tell me one thing, अगर आपका 10 क्वेश्चन आता है, by default council 6 क्वेश्चन को easy set करेगा so that majority of students can attempt. But what about those 4 MCQs or 4 questions which is to be attempted, or who will be able to rightly attempt if they have given themselves a good amount of grilling? तो अगर आपने मेहनत की है तो आपको 100 आएगा, अगर आपने नहीं की है तो आपको नहीं आएगा. I'm not looking at those 6 MCQs which are easy. I'm looking at those 4 MCQs or 4 give reasons or 1 or 2 answers where you can lose marks. So I am here to protect those answers of yours. ठीक है? Easy वाला तो आप भी कर लोगे, मुझे भी पता है. चलो. The British planter's decision to shoot his loyal hound Rex before ending his own life serves to illustrate, to portray. Very good, Aisha. Very good, Tanu. Very good, Saksham. Very good, Rachit. Very good. It portrays the corruption, the corrupt tendencies of unchecked ambition and power, which often leads to self-destruction. Think of Macbeth. Macbeth's unchecked or vaulting ambition led to his own doom, tragic downfall, and that is what happened with the English planter. ठीक है? the way he had exploited his own subject, his own people, that ended up in not just killing whom he loved the most, that is his hound Rex, but also himself. So option C, the ultimate corruption of colonial power which destroys even the things it loves. Next one, which literary technique does Satyajit Ray use when he aligns the date of Aniruddha's journey, that is April 27, 1968, exactly with the date in the Planter's Diary of April 27, 1868, 100 years back? Very good, guys. Very good. Very good. It establishes a synchronity. Synchronize करने का मतलब क्या होता है? Alignment. ठीक है? It aligns to establish the supernatural bridge between the two eras. ठीक है? Between the two time zones. That is the purpose. Alignment. Connecting. Next one. Read two statements. Statement 1. Aniruddha finds himself writing in a diary with a hand that is no longer under his own control. Volition means under his own control or influence. The modern scholar is forced to become a vessel, medium, zaria, for confession of a century-old colonial sin. Think, अनिरुद्धा अपने हाथों को बिना कंट्रोल किए चीजों को लिखते ही जा रहा था. क्यों? क्योंकि जो मॉडर्न स्कॉलर यानी अनिरुद्धा खुद है, he was compelled, he was propelled to become a vessel, medium or instrument for the confession of centuries colonial sin. So A happens because of B. You're understanding? A takes place because of B. Since Aniruddha was forced to become the vessel of the confession, that is why his hand was no longer under his volition or control. So statement B is the cause of statement A. B is the cause of statement A. ठीक है? D is your correct option. चलिए, moving ahead with your give reasons. Aniruddha hesitated to fit the spare tire despite having one readily available because text को याद करिए. Recall the text. What was Aniruddha feeling? Had he got down to repair the tire, the passing by cars would stop abruptly to look at his pitiable condition, right? Or despicable condition. Pitiable or despicable condition. Yes, Kanav, very good. He was embarrassed or he was insecure of this fact that what would other passerbys, ठीक है, those people who would pass by in their car, what would they think? चलिए नेक्स्ट वन. नाउ आई एम नॉट राइटिंग द आंसर्स, हम लोग डिस्कस कर लेते हैं फटाफट. द फर्स्ट 30 miles of Aniruddha's journey towards Dumka were terribly hectic because टेक्स्ट को याद करिए. टेक्स्ट को याद करिए. क्या था? कंडीशन ऑफ रास्ता अच्छा नहीं था. वेदर वॉज डिस्टर्ब्ड एट द सेम टाइम. condition of the road was poor. At the same time, weather was at its rage, was at its anger. The storm growled up from the sky. ठीक है? The condition of the road was poor. At the same time, the storm was brewing and growling up in the sky. The weather was disturbed. Next one. Why? Aniruddha, who usually welcomed storm with Tagore's poem and songs, basically he liked monsoon season, or he enjoyed storm sitting in his own house and enjoying the storm comfortably from within the house. He disliked them on this occasion because very good. It was because of his fear. Fear was his reason. Take care. When this time nature revealed its gore means nature revealed its wrath, its rage, its anger, it terrified Aniruddha. And that is why he did not appreciate the disturbed weather this time. Next one. Aniruddha was startled, surprised by the barking of a dog at dark bungalow because I hope you remember that Aniruddha woke up to the bark of Rex, right? And then after that, when he saw himself, looked himself into the mirror, he realized that he had completely transitioned. So why was he surprised? Scratching or on the door is not a correct answer for this, dear. No, get into the text, beta, get into the text. Why was he surprised? Because it was not a bark of a stray dog, rather, it was an unmistakable bay of a hound. ठीक है? It was unmistakable bay of a hound. ठीक है? It was unmistakable bay of a. Next one. The truck driver was honking continuously because. Why was the truck driver honking continuously? Because. Very good, Saksham. Because the car had broken down in the middle of the road, blocking the way ahead. ठीक है? The car had broken down in the middle of the road, blocking the way ahead. Yes. Got the logic? चलिए, मूविंग टू द फोर्थ वन. देखिए कितना ब्यूटिफुली आपका जल्दी 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 प्रिज्म कंप्लीट होते जा रहा है. There will come soft rains. The silhouette मतलब पता है ना आपको, imprint of the family, imprints of the family burned into the west wall of the house serve as a poignant. What is the meaning of poignant? Evocative. That evokes, gives rise to something, literary image where their primary narrative function is to बेटा लॉन्ग आंसर क्वेश्चन शॉर्ट आंसर क्वेश्चन के लिए आप मेरा सैंपल पेपर खरीद लीजिए 7 से सैंपल पेपर का लाइव एप्लीकेशन 7 से सैंपल पेपर का लाइव सोल्यूशन एप्लीकेशन पे आपको मिलना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा ठीक है ऑन आर्यन ट्यूटोरियल्स ऐप What does the imprint of the family who were burnt owing to nuclear explosion it convey? It illustrates, portrays instantaneous, how instantly and how indiscriminately, that is without any bhedbhav, nature of nuclear annihilation, that is destruction. How our own technological progress at times can lead to our own destruction ठीक है can become the cause of our own destruction ठीक है annihilation is destruction and indiscriminate is without bhedbhav when the starving dog enters starving is bhuka when the starving dog enters the house and eventually dies the robot mice immediately hummed out to dispose of it in the incinerator. This interaction highlights what does it indicate? Very good. Very good. It highlights the chilling lack of empathy in a world governed purely by mechanical efficiency, that technology is incapable of pathos and empathy. Technology, no matter how advanced it is, it cannot empathize with another human being. ठीक है? Third one, the house is described as having an old maidenly, like an old woman, preoccupation, like obsession with self-protection and being paranoid, not paranoid, where Bradbury uses the personification to suggest the automated functioning of house is personified as an old maiden who is always paranoid to preserve or protect itself. What does it convey? Very good, guys. Very good. It conveys that technology, when left without human guidance, become a meaningless loop of fear. In other words, technology is futile. It is useless without any human beings to make use of it. Okay? It's a futile attempt. The inclusion of Sarah Tisdale's poem, There Will Come Soft Rains, within the story is an example of situational irony because Priyanka, in my opinion, this should be sufficient and apart from sample paper कर लीजिए, I think you are bound to get 85 plus and अगर आपने अच्छे से पढ़ाई किया तो फिर 90, 95 is yours. Very good. Very good. The house recites a poem which emphasizes onto nature's indifference, like nature is unbothered or unconcerned whether human being exist or they do not, which shows that nature is ultimately superior. And at the same time, nature will continue its cycle irrespective of the fact whether human beings are there or not there. Take care. Fifth one, the eventual destruction of the house by a falling tree branch and kitchen fire suggests that who is more superior? Who is more superior? Very good. It conveys that nature is ultimate, it is powerful, an uncontrollable force that can outlast human technology. Although ironically, house was programmed in a manner to preserve and protect itself, it was obsessed like an old maiden. Yet it could not, uh, it could not escape its destruction in the end. And the house is reduced to rubble at the hand of nature itself. ठीक है? At the hands of natural forces itself. Next one. Read the two statements and select the appropriate relation. Statement A. The house continues to prepare bridge tables, water the lawn, and announce appointment. The city of Allendale exists as a wasteland of rubble, leftovers, and ashes, giving off a radioactive glow. Very good, guys. Very good. Very good. Amazing. 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 So statement B is the context that makes statement A absurd and tragic. Absurd is abnormal, and tragedy lies that although house continues to perform its chores, not realizing that actually there is nobody to make use of it. ठीक है? So in a city which has been exposed to nuclear explosion and all the human beings have gone extinct, it is no point to continue its function where nobody is to make use of it. Next one. The house's nursery projects vivid jungles, blue lion and yellow giraffe, serves as a narrative device too. You can purchase that from my app there, my notes, Mr. Prasad. It shows that how technology can create simulation, means artificial projection, which is a form of passive entertainment to distract from sterile means infertile. Sterile is infertile reality. ठीक है? Next one. In the final moment of the story, the house's last voice repeat the date until it finally dies. This ending primarily emphasizes, what does it convey? No. It continues to, please understand the need. It repeat itself. It is repeating the date and until finally dies. So this repeating is what? It is futile, na? It is purposeless. कोई काम का नहीं है, कोई है ही नहीं. Even in the last attempt, वो जो बोलते जा रहा है, repeat करते जा रहा है डेट को, it makes no sense. So it is pointlessness, mechanical routine in a world without humans, even in the last attempt. ठीक है? Next one. Fire that destroys the house is triggered by a falling tree branch crashing through the window. This detail is significant because it suggests, what does it convey? No, 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 no. Tree developed a predatory instinct. No, no, no. The tree did not have any intention of preying upon the house. It was not tree that preyed upon the house. Dear, tree ने प्रे नहीं किया, fire ने प्रे किया. Fire consumed the house. Please don't get distracted. These are some of the distractors. Very good. It will be human technology is untimely, defenseless against the random, persistent forces of nature. It is a portrayal of nature being superior to human beings or to humans' advancement. Human का technological advancement. Next one. Read the statement. The house performs its function with mechanical bird and leaf. The world outside the house is a radioactive wasteland where all biological life has been erased. राघव अगर गलत हो जा रहे बेटा प्लीज टेक्स्ट पढ़ना थोड़ा शुरू करो एंड प्रैक्टिस करना स्टार्ट करो. नो माय डियर, डी कैसे होगा इसका, सोच के बोलो बेटा. आई थिंक अनदर 15 मिनट्स, 15-20 मिनट्स एंड वील रैप अप, क्योंकि इसके बाद बस मेडिसिन बैग बचा है. आप लोग सोच ही नहीं पा रहे हो. House is performing its chore like a mechanical paranoia, like a disturbed person, mentally retarded person reacting to every bird and leaf. Although the entire world outside has shifted, has reduced down to nothing, has been washed off, erased, what does it convey? That house ka attempt is kya? It is ironical. Who is it trying to save? Question ऐसे पूछो, who is house protecting? House किसको protect कर रहा है? Because nobody is there. कोई है ही नहीं. So who is house trying to protect? जब कोई है ही नहीं तो हाउस बचा किसको रहा है? समझ आ रहा है? Are you all understanding the concept of why behind every question कि ये क्यों हो रहा है? So statement B का paranoia, this paranoid obsession makes statement A appear ironic and futile. It makes it appear purposeless. ठीक है? क्योंकि जब कोई है ही नहीं, जब पूरा सिटी रेडियो एक्टिव ग्लो की वजह से डिस्ट्रॉय हो चुका है, तो हाउस बचा किसको रहा है? चलिए फटाफट से गिव रीजन को डिस्कस करें. द वॉइस फ्रॉम द सीलिंग सिलेक्टेड अ पर्टिकुलर पोएम ऑफ मिसेस मैक्सिलन बिकॉज थिंक मिसेस मैक्सिलन क्या थी उस घर में? नहीं थी ना. तो हाउस वॉज प्रोग्राम टू ask first that which poem would you like to hear today, and since Mrs. Maxwell was absent, that she no longer existed owing to the nuclear explosion, house automatically selected one of her favorite poems. ठीक है? That is There Will Come Soft Rain. Dear, for ICSE, you can always go and refer to Sudhir sir for this year. I'm just catering to ISC for this year. No intention to start ICSE at this point. Although I do teach ICSE, like मैं पढ़ाता हूँ ICSE offline में, but अभी मेरे पास time नहीं है ICSE पढ़ाने का. ठीक है? Very good. Got the logic? There was nobody to give the instruction to the house to select that particular poem, so it selects on its own Mrs. Maxwell's one of the favorite poems, that is There Will Come Soft Rains. Getting the logic? Chalo. At 9 p.m. the beds warmed their hidden circuit because why? क्या था 9 p.m. What was the thing to be done? 9 बजे. It was कौन सा टाइम? बेड क्यों आया? बिकॉज इट वॉज स्लीपिंग टाइम. एंड वार्म क्यों किया गया? टेक्स्ट में मेंशन्ड है. ठीक है? At 9 p.m. it was the sleeping time, And why the bed warmed up? Because of the cold weather. And please remember, अगर deeper level पे जाए, so that cold weather, that cold weather has been chosen on purpose to add to the coldness, to the sullenness, or to the pessimistic mood of the story. ठीक. Next one. The garage outside the empty house chimed and lifted its door because very good. Nehu Ghati, very good. Because the house had a set timing for the car to be revealed, for man of the house to leave for office, but actually there was nobody who turned up. ठीक है? So it flapped shut its shutter back. ठीक है? It was time to go to the office. Next one. The sparrow, after brushing against a window, was startled and flew away because the house was designed to preserve and self protect itself, which it did like a mechanical paranoia. ठीक है? So that nobody could enter the house, and it was obsessed with its mechanical paranoia to protect the house from potential threats. Why the electronic gadgets continued performing their programmed function? The electronic gadgets continued performing their programmed function because the house was designed and programmed in a manner to be self-sufficient or to be self-dependent, which it did in a routine manner. ठीक है? In a chronological or a routine manner. Got it? Yeah, they are automated. A little more articulation is required. Chaliye. Coming to the last story, that is the medicine bag. फटाफट से जल्दी से करके wrap up करते हैं. At the beginning of the story, Martin and Cheryl exaggerate. They made concocted, ठीक है, बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलना about their grandfather to their friends. This behavior primarily highlights where was it culminating from or stemming from. क्यों उन्होंने exaggerate की चीजों को, क्यों उन्होंने बढ़ा चढ़ा के बताई? Because their peers, their friends had an expectation. They had only seen Native Americans on television. So they had to live up to that expectation, due to which they cooked up stories so that they could rise up to or conform to the movie Indian stereotype of social validation, so that they could look cool in front of their friends. ठीक है? Next one. Grandpa Joe Iron Shell's decision to travel alone by bus and then walk to Martin's house despite his frailty. Frailty means his weakness. He was very weak. ठीक है? He was very slender and weak at the same time. Is a testament. Testament means is a proof. Is a proof to his very good, guys. Very good. Resilience is determination. It portrays his determination and the urgency to pass on the ancestral heirloom, that is the medicine bag, before he dies. That makes option A your correct option. He did not want any financial help. He wasn't even stubborn, and neither was he confused or lost his memory. Take care. All three are incorrect. Next one. Which of the following best describes the symbolic significance? What is the symbolism of money in the boots? Why had he tucked money inside his boots, and why did he hand it down to Martin's mother? Because he did not want to be a burden onto the family, which shows that he was independent of a man. Very good. It symbolizes his independence and his desire to maintain dignity even in his last hours. Take care. Although if he were to die, he would not give up on his self dignity or his morals and principles. Grandpa tells Martin, you need not wear it now. Need not wear what? Need not wear, it means medicine bag. वो समझते हैं कि मार्टिन इज नॉट रेडी अभी इसको पहनने के लिए, रादर उसको एडवाइस करते कि जब रिजर्वेशन में जाओगे, when you go to South Dakota, at that time you should wear the medicine bag. This, what does it showcases? That grandpa was understanding. He understood that Martin felt ashamed or embarrassed to wear that medicine bag, and rather in the present times it would not be appropriate for him to wear it because people might not understand the significance and the spiritual legacy which is attached with that heirloom. Okay, the belief system. So this makes Martin's grandfather, great grandfather, a man who acknowledges the clash between the sacred tradition and the modern social environment. He understood that people will not understand what is the significance of this thing. Next, Martin's friends' reaction to meeting grandpa responding with awe and respect is totally inverse, right? एकदम उल्टा निकला. मार्टिन ने सोचा his friends would make fun of him, but then they treated grandpa with admiration and they were awestruck. They were extremely happy. Martin's friend. What does it convey? Very good, guys. Very good. It shows that whatever Martin felt, that is his internal shame, was self created. वो खुद अपने दिमाग में एक वहम बना लिया था. अक्सर हम लोग भी अपने दिमाग में वहम बना लेते हैं कि सामने वाला शायद मेरे बारे में क्या सोचेगा, खराब सोचेगा, एंड यू नेवर नो दैट हो सकता है सामने वाला इंसान आपको एडमायर करता हो. सो Martin realized that it was his own internal shame which created a self-imposed, means self-created barrier rather than a social reality. ठीक है? The sacred sage that Martin eventually places in the medicine bag at the end of the story symbolizes what is the purpose of that sacred sage, that वो grass का piece जो वो डालता है, ठीक है? What is the purpose of that? Very good. From the beginning, where Martin was hesitant to that of concluding with his acknowledgement and his reverence, his respect for his culture, for his identity, for his community, and for his tribe. So that makes option D your correct option. His active participation and acceptance of cultural legacy, that he finally embraced his cultural roots. Next one, the contrast between Cheryl's unfiltered pride. She was extremely happy to make grandpa meet with her friends, while Martin's mortification, mortification means his embarrassment. Okay, his embarrassment upon grandpa's arrival serves to illustrate, to portray. One second. Yeah, his embarrassment serves to illustrate. What does it portray? Very good. It was not Martin's fault, rather, he was a teenager, and often in our teenage days, we tend to be under peer pressure and we often tend to reject our own cultural roots and we start questioning our own family traditions and customs. Maybe it might not be cool to other friends, so we start questioning those. Okay? That is what Martin was undergoing. The story of Iron Shell and the Vision Quest is included in the narrative primarily. So Grandpa tells Martin the story of Iron Shell, like how his grandfather found the Iron Shell, and the Vision Quest, the spiritual journey. The spiritual journey which Martin's great grandfather had undertaken. What does it convey? कीवर्ड देखो, गलत मत बोलो, मैंने लिख दिया आपको कीवर्ड. Spiritual journey. So it establishes the bag as a link to the ancestral survival, which means continuity or permanence of legacy. At the same time, spiritual adaptation conveys spiritual journey or enlightenment, spiritual awakening or enlightenment. Very good, Gautify. Chaliye. Read the statement and select appropriate reason. Grandpa Joe Iron Shell arrives in the city wearing a shabby coat and a broken hat. Grandpa possesses a profound, deep inner strength and cultural wisdom that commands respect. How are the two statements related? Congratulations, Ria. Then you're well prepared if all are correct. क्या हो गया? आवाज नहीं आ रही है? Am I audible? Hello, am I audible, guys? क्या हो गया? आवाज नहीं आ रही है? Am I audible? हाँ, आ रही है आवाज. चलो. हाँ, so how are the two statements related? His grandfather arrives in shabby old clothes and with a broken hat. Grandpa possesses immense amount of inner strength and cultural wisdom that commands respect. So what happens is that although statement 1 is just his superficial appearance, reality means appearance, but that superficial appearance makes him simple of a man. It adds to grandfather's simplicity. This shows that he, without any shame, wore his traditional clothes, which ends up earning him respect. जो उन्हें इज्जत दिलाता है लोगों से. So B is your correct option. Statement A represents superficial reality that marks the deeper truth of statement B, that makes him command respect or earns him respect. Chaliye, another one. Martin feels a burning sense of shame, that is embarrassment, when he sees Grandpa walking down the street. Martin stands alone in the tall mist of the reservation at the end of the story. So opening and ending. How are the opening and ending related? Opening and ending of the story related. It conveys a complete spiritual cycle and acknowledgement that Martin, after going through the ebb and flow of emotions, the vast ocean of emotions, he finally learns to embrace and acknowledge his culture. ठीक है? So it presents a complete emotional journey which started in the statement A. No, 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 no. ड्रीम सीक्वेंस नहीं है, टुगेदर हाईलाइट नहीं है, आपको ठीक से पढ़ाई करना है. अगर आपने नहीं किया है, जाके मेरे डिटेल्ड एक्सप्लेनेशन को देखिए. मेरा रिवीजन वीडियो भी काफी ज्यादा डिटेल्ड है प्रिज्म का, गो एंड चेक दैट आउट. ठीक है, बट आपको पढ़ाई कैसे करना है? टेक्स्ट बुक लो, पहले पढ़ो, काम चोरी मत करो. काम चोरी करेंगे नंबर नहीं आए. सो टेक्स्ट बुक खोलिए, अच्छे से पढ़ाई कीजिए. अभी भी 10 दिन बाकी है. हाँ, 10 days आर लेफ्ट. 10 दिन बहुत होता है. 10 दिन में आप बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो. सो किताब खोलिए, हर रोज एक प्रिज्म, एक रैप्सोडी एंड मैकबेथ के 2-2 सीन करके आप कंप्लीट करिए, हो जाएगा. चलिए फटाफट से डिस्कस करते हैं एंड देन आप सबको अलविदा करते हैं. मार्टिन एंड शेरिल फ्रेंड्स वर इंप्रेस्ड बाय देयर स्टोरीज बिकॉज कैसा स्टोरी प्रेजेंट करते थे वो लोग? ऑब्वियसली उनके फ्रेंड्स इंप्रेस ही होंगे, क्योंकि जो ग्रैंडपा को पोर्ट्रे किया गया था, देयर पोर्ट्रेयल ऑफ ग्रैंडपा how was it? It was romanticized and कैसा था दूसरा वर्ड? Romanticized and it was all fabricated. बनी बनाई कहानी थी. The reality was far from what he looked like or appeared like. ठीक है? So that they could, क्यों किया उन्होंने ऐसा? Why did they romanticize and fabricate grandpa's appearance? So that they could क्या कर सके वो लोग, बताइए? So that they could stand या फिर live up to टीवी इंडियंस, राइट? टीवी में जैसा नेटिव अमेरिकन को पोर्ट्रे किया जाता था, वैसा दिखाने के लिए they presented fabricated and romanticized pictures. Yes, so that they could fit into the narrative of TV Indian. अगर आपको ये भी लिखना है, आप ये भी लिख सकते हैं. So that they could fit into the narrative of stereotypical TV Indian. बेटा लैंग्वेज डे 4 से शुरू हो जाएगा. आज प्रिज्म हो गया, कल रैप्सोडी होगा, मैकबेथ होगा, परसों उसके बाद लैंग्वेज स्टार्ट हो जाएगा डेडिकेटेडली. एवरीवन इन मार्टिन्स फैमिली फेल्ट सॉरी फॉर ग्रैंडपा. व्हाई? इंक्लूडिंग मार्टिन, his mother, father, everyone felt sorry for grandpa, because grandpa, in spite of being old, had undertaken a long exhaustive journey because he felt lonely after Martin and his family left post summer vacations, right? They had a ritual of going and spending 1 week with their grandpa. So after they had left, he felt all alone. That is why he had taken this long, tiresome, exhaustive journey. And looking at his condition when he came and fainted, it made Martin and his mother feel a sense of, you know, sorry or empathy for grandpa. All the children and dogs followed grandpa because किसके ऊपर फोकस करना है, क्यों फॉलो कर रहे थे? How did he look? What kind of clothes had he worn? No, 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 not because he was walking in the middle of the road. No, 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 no. Very good. Because of his wired and shabby looks, his grey hair strangled here and there, and his appearance, simple logic is his appearance was unusual. ठीक है? His appearance was unusual. It seemed as if he had come out of an old dusty history book. कि किसी पुराने हिस्ट्री बुक से उठा के वो बाहर आ गए. Yeah, so you can add long coat, tattered clothes, shabby appearance, his staggered hair, वगैरह वगैरह सब कुछ आ जाएगा उसी में. And the last one, nahi, second last one. Grandpa sent Martin's sister and mother away while giving the medicine bag only to him. Very important question ISC के perspective से. Very, very, very important question. Why did Grandpa turn Martin's mother and Cheryl away before he could pass down the heirloom? Because it was to be, yes, whatever he had to say to Martin, जो भी grandpa को Martin को बताना था, it was only made for a man's ear and not for a woman. ठीक है? It was only made for a man's ear. Meanwhile, the medicine bag was to be passed on to only a male heir. ठीक है? Not a female heir, only male heir. Very good. And the last give reason for tonight, आखिरी give reason. ये सवाल बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. ठीक है? My Hindi is equally good. Martin wished that his school day would not end when Grandpa told him he would give him the medicine bag. Martin wished that his school may not come to an end when Grandpa told him that it is a day when he would pass him down with medicine bag. Apart from being ashamed, what else? चलो ठीक है, एक तो था shame, एक तो था shame, hesitation, or rather he was not ready to acknowledge his own heirloom. ठीक है? He was not ready to acknowledge his own heirloom. He was not ready to inherit or acknowledge his ancestral heirloom. And besides, he also wanted to avoid any kind of social humiliation. He did not want to feel humiliated by his friends, because that bag not only was just shabby, but also it would make him a subject of mockery in front of his friends. ठीक है? And with this, we complete our entire Prism ka give reasons and MCQs at the same time. So I hope आपको मजा आया, आपको अच्छा लगा, आपको क्वालिटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कैसे लगे वो भी जरा सा बताइए आके. Really happy. I hope this is helping you. Now इसके लिए आपको बस एक छोटा सा फीस देना है. That is, you have to share this video, this live video with your friends, and tell your friends that ARYAN sir is there, who's taking up very good questions which are highly probable for the board examination. अकेले अकेले फायदा मत उठाइए. Don't gatekeep efforts which I am putting in to make such quality content. Rather, share it with your friends and let everyone benefit. ठीक है, अकेले फायदा मत उठाओ. सबका साथ, सबका विकास. एक साथ ग्रो करते हैं. Let the competition be healthy. ठीक है. So for tonight, I think that's all. आज के लिए इतना ही. So this is Aryan Thakkar signing off. Take care. Good night. Bye bye. I hope you have a great night and a tight sleep and get geared up for tomorrow, क्योंकि कल हम लोग Rhapsody उठाने वाले हैं. ठीक 3 बजे हम लोग दोबारा से मिलेंगे. Thank you so much. नमस्कार.